Two big confirmations concerning Manchester United late this night as Joshua Zirkzee is edging closer to a departure from Bologna, just as United again confirm another major recruit to help with the transfer situation at the club in this summer, at least for the interim. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Webb. Now, these are the two biggest sources of transfer talk and confirmation coming out to drop two interesting confirmations concerning two important players for Manchester United. Of course, one a player, another is a player, but not on the pitch, but a player in terms of the deals that we are hoping to do. Now, I'll start it off with the one you probably will be more interested in. It is the player on the pitch, that is Joshua Zirkzee, as Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Bologna director Sartori has confirmed that Joshua Zirkzee has a release clause into his contract, and I believe he's 99% gonna leave the club. I've been telling you that the departure is nearly done. Now, the director himself of the club, Bologna, is coming out to confirm this and saying it's 99% done that he's leaving the club. The clause is valid from today until mid-August at 40 million euros. That is according, of course, to what we get. That's about 34 million pounds, exactly what we've been reporting here. That is coming in. Of course, questions will be, is it United? Is it obviously United where he's headed? Well, most probably, I think, for me, chances are it's going to be United. The higher chances are going to be him joining Man United. But also AC Milan is not completely out of the conversation for Joshua Zirkzee. But what we know is that Manchester United has already prepared a bid for him, and very soon it will be going in. Now, the other confirmation that has come through is about a guy who's not a player. You might be wondering who that face, whose face that is. Now, that young man you see right there is not a footballer. He's quite an important figure in what Ineos are trying to do this summer, and his name is Christopher Vivell. Now, according to David Ornstein, as it is written right there, Man United are working to appoint Christopher Vivell on an initial short-term basis to help with summer transfer window. The 37-year-old to lend expertise around talent identification, recruitment, and multi-club model. Latest step to building out latest step to build out Man United sporting structure. That's exactly what Ineos are trying to do. So that's another confirmation. Of course, we just confirmed earlier today that Dan Ashworth is done. He will be joining in from Newcastle United. Now it is coming out to be confirmed now that this man who previously worked at RB Leipzig and Chelsea recently, Vivo, will land around, of course, to offer expertise when it comes to matters, running multi-sports club. I think Ineos have wanted to have a model because they also have several clubs, several sports franchises, if I would call it. So they're probably trying to get players because from Omar Berada, who was in the City group that has got and was chief of all of them, CEO of all, chief of operations of all of them. I think they want to get guys who have got a bit of expertise in that, in running so many clubs, because they have got quite a number of them. Also many sports institutions, because they've got quite a number of them, and see how it can play out. I think they just admit that they are not as informed about some of these things as they would love to be, which for me, I think is a good sign of people who are willing to bring in the right people to do the right work. This was the problem that the Glazers had. They were not willing to go and pay money, spend money to bring in the right people into the right offices. And of course, people will have reservations saying, and we bring in way too many people. Of course, this one is coming first on an interim basis. Maybe if they see need, they could retain him on a more permanent contract. But he's going to come in the interim and help with the recruitment, working, of course, reporting to both Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilkos, of course, who is the technical director, together with the CEO Omar Berada, who will be starting work most likely on the 13th of this month of July. Later this month, Omar Berada will be starting his work as CEO. So that's a bit of what these people are doing. Of course, you can want to, and you want to get a bit of an understanding of the profile of this man, Christopher Vivel and why on earth he's coming, because no one saw him coming, to be honest. And people will be, of course, having all forms of questions about what he is. Because and when he says from Chelsea, people will tell you, I mean, Chelsea has been signing players what's his name, Nicholas Jackson, who many don't want to rate and the likes. But I think for me, there must be a reason why Ineos have gone for him. And I mean, he left Chelsea, by the way. He last worked at Chelsea in 2023. But I think there must be a reason. They see something in him that perhaps they feel they can tap into. For me, I have no issues with it. An appointment would come after his appointment comes a year after his reputation. Of course, amid the organization and sports, supporting Lois Stewart and Paul withstanding, of course, quite a couple of details about him I'm trying to get. I did not, of course, know so much about him, but what I know is that Ineos are constituting an able team that is coming in to try and support Eric Ten Hag. So you look at all this team from the structure. If we count how many people Ineos have brought in, honestly, away from the football, before bringing in a single player from of course, the Ineos team, the CEO, then they bring in the CEO. First, he brought Sir Jim Ratcliffe first brought in Jean-Claude Blo, then Jean-Claude Blo, then he brought in Omar Berada from Man City. Blo was at PSG, Juventus, I think Monaco as well. So they brought in Omar Berada from Man City, who was at Barcelona as well. Then they bring in Jason Wilcox, bring an Arsenal doctor, a doctor from Arsenal, then bring in Dan Ashworth, Newcastle, Brighton, and the English national team before. Now bring in this guy from Chelsea. All these are non-playing stuff. Then go to the manager. Behind him, bring Rene Hake. Then bring in Rod Van Nistelrooy as an assistant. And now, you look at it and you're thinking, I think the Man United project seems to be exciting. Not to mention the Gary Neville's and Lord Sebastian Coe who are working on the Old Trafford with, of course, the Man United, whatever city mayors and stuff to try and work on a way of rebuilding Old Trafford into something hitherto unseen in English football. So you see how prepared these guys were when they were coming into this, and for me, it's encouraging to see. Of course, we as the supporters will be more eager to see players being brought in, but we forget that this is the first summer. Everything they ever wanted to do, they had to wait until the season is done for them to be able to do so many things. So I feel for me, right now they are constituting a team, and it is coming at the exact start of the transfer window, which for me I think should be a good sign. We know that in terms of players we want to delete, we are advanced. Joshua Zirkzee, confirmed by his director, is leaving. We know the situation with Jared Branthwaite. United might actually pull out of that deal. I hope they do, but that deal is still there. We know where we are when it comes to the midfielder Ugarte. So you see that this, for me, I like it that they are doing so many things at a go, and they seem to have a plan, which we had reservations about before. Before, I think one of the biggest issues we're having with Ineos were, do they have a plan, or are they just jumping onto things and but clearly, from what we're beginning to see, they probably had a plan and were just waiting for the right time to make the moves. This is the United Sport. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe. That was just a late night update about 2 more confirmations concerning Manchester United. Subscribe, like, and share, and I'll catch you later, fam.